So you want to know what's going on in the group chat? Say less. I will tell you. Okay, so a girl and her group of friends, they're chatting in the group chat. They're getting ready to go to a dinner, right? And so as they're getting ready to go to this dinner, they're doing whatever, they get a message from Haley. And Haley's like, hey guys, I'm so sorry. I just want to let you know that Justin, her boyfriend, is having a really hard time and he wants to come to the dinner. Now, this is a reoccurring thing that keeps happening. Haley keeps inviting her boyfriend to the all-girls group chat dinners. Don't know why. Anyways, so then the entire group chat, go Jessica. Jessica is my girl. I am the Jessica in my group. Anyways, so Jessica's like, bitch, no, we don't want to do that. You know what? We already made these reservations. So she calls the restaurant. And then Jessica finds out that, Haley already changed the reservation 2 weeks ago. So this isn't like a new thing. Haley knew that she was going to invite Justin, didn't tell anybody until the day of. So now the day of, they find out that Justin is invited. Haley already made these plans. The group chat's going wild. Haley leaves the group chat because she's pissed off. Then later she calms down. She comes back to the group chat. And she's like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. But, I really just wanted Justin to be there. Instead of going to the group chat cafe, let's go to the group chat steakhouse because they're running low on time, right? So the group, they're all like, you know what? Fine. Okay, Haley, I get it. Even Maddie was on board, and Maddie is coming in from out of town. She hasn't seen her girls in a couple of months, but she's like, you know what? Fine, Haley, bring your goddamn boyfriend. So then they switch the reservation to group chat steakhouse. Remember, this is important because the first reservation was made for group chat cafe. Then they changed the reservation time to 30 minutes later. So there's a 30-minute window between the first reservation and the second. And they're at two completely different places. So now the second reservation is made. It's at group chat steakhouse and it's in 30 minutes. Julia, who's already on her way to the cafe, she puts it into gear. So she goes to the steakhouse. She shows up first. Mind you, Julia is early. Julia is early to the steakhouse and in she walks, and guess who she sees? Justin is already there. How is Justin already at the restaurant? We switched the restaurant. We switched the time. We switched everything. And this man is still there first? How and why? I'm convinced he's cheating. He's there with another woman. He's there with a Monica. He's there with somebody. And I just can't wait for Jessica to find out. I can't wait for Jessica to go in on this man. I really cannot. I can't. Haley's going to be upset, but Jessica is going to put the hammer down and she's going to get Justin together. I have faith. I have faith in my girls. And that's what's going on in the group chat.
Get ready with me while I explain to you guys why you can't trust literally anybody. I feel like I just have really bad luck with friends. Anyway, there's this guy that I was dating. I was dating him for about a year and a half, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less. I don't really remember. But at that time, I was also really, really close with this one girl. Also, I'm not going to name drop. I wanted to, but I'm not going to because it's really not that deep. To sum up how close we were, if someone couldn't get a hold of me, they called her. If they couldn't get a hold of her, they called me. Because we were always together. Anyways, me and him ended, and then not too much longer later, me and her just, fell apart. Nothing happened between us, no beef, no drama, no nothing. We just really stopped talking for a while. Recently, around the beginning of October, she slid up on one of my stories, and then we kind of just, caught up and started talking again. And the bond that we had before, literally came back within an instant because we were so freaking close. And, you can't really erase that. We were literal sisters. We talked every single day, hung almost every single day, but let's skip the backstory, the boring stuff, and let's get to the point. She stayed the night the day before New Year's Eve and then was at my house New Year's Eve morning. I had plans that morning, so she ended up going home just for a little bit, and then we planned on meeting back up and getting ready for this party. We were texting all day. We were so excited about the party, and then randomly she's like, oh, sorry, I have plans with my family. And I'm like, girl, don't even worry about it. I'll just go out by myself. Family is more important. Of course. The party that we were going to go to together was really far, so I didn't want to go without her, so I was trying to find another party to go to. I ended up finding one that was really close after everyone was posting about it, and literally everyone was there. And I was like, okay, everyone's there. I mean, I'm going by myself, but I know a lot of people. It's fine, whatever, let me just go. Because I didn't want to do nothing on New Year's Eve. So I get there, I found all my people, I'm having a really freaking good time, and I want to say at least 45 minutes to an hour goes by, and I'm over here catching up with one of my other friends, and I'm talking about how much I miss my ex, and she goes, girl, he's downstairs with so-and-so. I start laughing. I'm like, no, she's with her family. Haha, good try. Thinking it was a literal joke. I literally thought it was a literal joke. I go downstairs and she's sitting like in the corner behind the pool table on his lap in a chair. In that moment, I'm like really freaking confused because I'm like, she just told me that she had a family thing to go to. Like, why did she lie to me? But like also in that moment, my heart completely shatters because I'm like, I was just talking about how much I miss him and my best friend is sitting on his lap right now. I wouldn't say like best friend. Like, I don't know what you classify as best friend, but we were getting really, really close again. And if you guys know me and you guys watch my TikToks, before any of you guys ask, no, it's not Haley or Charlie. I just haven't really hung out with either of them. Still love them so much. I see Charlie tomorrow, so y'all will probably see her too. Anyways, back to the story. She made direct eye contact with me and then hurry up and looked away and acted like she didn't even see me. He gets up and he comes over and he's like, yo, nice to see you. Talking to my other friend, talking to the other friend, talking to the dude behind us. And I'm like, he just touched my hand. Like, we're gonna get married again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was like heartbroken in this moment because like, what was that? She walks to the opposite side of the basement and goes up those flight of steps to like avoid us. And I'm talking to him, like having a normal conversation. Like, obviously, like if he's with her, I'm not gonna flirt with him, even though that was my man and my best friend. Whatever, it doesn't even matter. But I'm like talking to him and I'm like, oh, so like you and so-and-so? He was like, yeah, we've been together for like 2 months. You didn't know? In my mind, I'm like, that dab up meant nothing. I thought we were gonna get married. He just dabbed me up. We're gonna get married. Nope, it meant nothing. I'm just kidding. Let me stop being delusional. Anyways, back to the story. We had been friends for over 2 months. Like, been close again for over 2 months. And she never once mentioned that she was dating my ex. Yeah. One that she would tell me to leave in the beginning over and over and how he's no good for me. Anyways, fast forward. She didn't talk to me the entire party and then blocked me. Like, I texted her and I was like, hey. That's all I said was, hey. Blocked. She blocked me and I'm not gonna go chasing after anybody. Obviously she was no good because what was that? She could stay in 2023. That was so cringy of me to say, but she can stay in 2023 because 2024 she will not be in. It's low-key not that deep because he was my ex, but you are supposed to be my best friend. You're supposed to be my best friend. I feel so embarrassed because I had been like sobbing about him to her. Not sobbing, but like I miss him. Like I want a bad girl. Like we should go on a 2-man and like invite him, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, she's in a relationship with him. Like I look so stupid sitting here crying about him to her when she's dating the man. Or talking to him. I don't know. He just said we have been together for over 2 months. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Oh! Like, why? Why? In my opinion, no matter what, that's a violation of girl code to, like, date your best friend's ex. Yeah. But, like, at the same time, I'm not going to lose my best friend over a boy, so I wouldn't have really cared if she didn't lie to me about it and then blocked me because I texted her, hey. Anyways, guys, that's all. I love you guys. I'll see you later. I just had a rant real quick because... let me tell you, that had me heated. Peace out, guys. Bye.
You know how everyone's talking about their friends that they had that secretly hated them? That reminds me of a tale. Story time. So this begins in 4th grade. There was a new girl in my class. Every time there was a new kid, I would love making friends with them. I was so shy in elementary school. Anyone who didn't have a preconceived connotation of me, I just wanted to befriend them. So I'm driving home from school with my mom, and literally like 3 houses down from me, I see her playing in her front yard. So the next day at school, I said to her, do you live in, and I said my neighborhood, and she was like, yeah. And I was like, I live right there. And she was like, cool. I don't know how we became friends after that, but we did. We were attached at the hip. We hung out every single day for years. Now we're in 7th grade. I'm noticing that she's starting to get a little boy crazy. If you've ever had a girlfriend that's boy crazy, you know where this story is heading. Girls that prioritize men and male validation, they're gonna choose guys over you. 10 out of 10 times. Every time I would hang out with her, she would be texting boys. We'd be jumping on the trampoline and she would stop every 2 minutes to pull out her little Envy phone and text some boys. As a 7th grader, she started doing acts with this one boy in particular, and I had no interest in that. I was literally 12. I was nowhere near that. So we were already starting to go on some different paths here. So one day we had another friend that was mutual, both of us, and we were all hanging out at my house. I need to give the girl a name. The boy crazy girl, her name is Anna in this story. Anna is like, let's go to the high school football game. And the other friend we were with, let's call her Cheryl. Me and Cheryl and Anna get there, and immediately Anna ditches us to talk to some boys. Me and Cheryl are just kind of there like, what do we do now? Also, this is one of like the first times that Cheryl has hung out with us. After like a few hours of Anna completely ditching us, she's just talking to these boys the whole time. And I do want to note too, these weren't even cool boys. They were kind of like weird. They were just gross. Like, I'm sorry. If you're gonna be obsessed with some boys, at least make them cute. Cheryl says to me, look, I'm nervous. I didn't tell my mom that I was gonna be here. It's getting dark. Like, can we please go back? I was like, yeah, like, that's not a problem. So I call my mom to pick me up. I'm telling
Anna,
like, look, Cheryl has to go home. Like, I want to leave. I'm not really having fun either. We're gonna go. You can come with us if you want, but like, you don't have to. And she was so mad. I guess because like we were her ride. When we get back to my house, we go into my basement. Mind you, it's still me, Anna, and Cheryl, our other friend that we've only hung out with once. All of a sudden, Anna starts screaming at me, saying stuff like, you are just jealous that I was hanging out with these guys and you made me leave. You're a horrible friend. Screaming me out in front of this other friend that we barely know. I was mortified and she's screaming. It was abusive. Like, I was traumatized. And mind you, I wasn't even saying anything back to her. I was just sitting there crying. Never again will that be me. But I was a 7th grader. Again, the reason we left was because Cheryl was stressed and wanted to leave. Anna had ditched us anyway. Even like telling this story now, like my heart rate is elevated because it was so disgusting how she treated me in front of someone else. It's one thing to yell at your friend. I've never yelled at any of my friends like that. And then it's another thing to do it in front of someone else that you're not even comfortable with. Like, who does that? My mom actually could hear Anna screaming at me. She comes downstairs and is listening from around the corner. And let me tell you, my mother, she's a strong woman and she's also my biggest fan. So she's listening to this and she's like, hell no. My mom pops out from around the corner and she puts Anna into her place. I tell my mom everything, so she knew all the tea about Anna and how Anna was always ditching me for boys and like kind of sucked, honestly. She was not a good friend. So she brought out the receipts. Am I proud that my mother had to step in and put a 7th grader in her place because I couldn't? No. But am I glad she did it in that moment when I was completely just sitting there on the beanbag crying my eyes out? Oh yes. And I would have her do it again. After my mom came down and cut the conversation off real quick, and I got real quiet. And I'll never forget me, Cheryl, and Anna sitting on the couch watching TV after this moment in dead silence. I have never been more uncomfortable in my entire life. They finally leave and that ended our friendship. It's like days and moments like these, it like changes something in your brain chemistry. I'm never letting someone treat me like that ever again. She can honestly suck my ass. After this fight, Anna's mom called my mom up screaming at her. You know it's real when the moms beef too. Like, I've never been so glad to end a friendship my entire life.
story time on why I cut off my then best friend of 7 years. And yeah, I actually wrote some things down on a piece of paper so I don't forget to tell y'all. So our friendship started back in like freshman year of high school. It was like second semester, so this had to be around like 2013. I think we had like an English or a math class together, and she was really cool. Like, she had a super outgoing like personality. Like, I was the exact opposite. I was a super introvert, but for some reason we just really got along. So our friendship really stuck around all throughout high school. She would do like little things in high school that would kind of make me raise an eyebrow. Like whenever we were like walking together, and mind you, she was popular. She was a cheerleader. I totally get it. But like, we would be mid-sentence, mid-conversation, and she would just dart in the other direction without saying anything. And I always thought that was super weird because I'm just like, I would never do that to somebody while they're talking. So I overlooked that red flag, and eventually we graduate, and she goes to school like 4 hours away, but she still comes back to see her boyfriend, who lived like 15 minutes from me. So let's just keep that in mind. At the time, I was still living with my parents, and the only time she would like come to town or like ask to see me is when she needed like me and my mom to like pick her up from, I think it was a train station or the flyaway, to go take her to her other friend's house. At no other time during her stay there did she come and hang out with me. She just used me for a ride. It was my mom's car. Fast forward, we're like still friends. We're still like talking on a somewhat consistent basis. And whenever she would come out here, she would only come out here to see her boyfriend. And she really wouldn't even tell me that she was coming to town. Like, she would accidentally like tell on herself, like during conversation. She's like, oh, me and my boyfriend did this and this. I'm like, oh, you were just out here? Like, why didn't you say anything? We could have like hung out. Like, he lives 15 minutes from me, so it's not like you have to go out of your way to come and see me. And mind you, like, we're supposed to be best friends. And it was one specific instance where me and her actually did get the chance to hang out. I had picked her up from her boyfriend's house. We had gone to the mall. We were hanging out. while we were at the mall. It was like two boys. They tried talking to us, but we both brushed it off because we both had boyfriends. There was really nothing to talk about. And then we went to go meet up with both of our boyfriends for lunch. Now this is like a little bit post-COVID, so you could order food at restaurants, but you really couldn't sit down and eat. So we had to take our food to go, and we were gonna go take our food to one of the view spots that we really like to go chill at. On the way to the view, mind you, my boyfriend's driving, I'm sitting in the front seat, and then it's her and her boyfriend in the back seat. She brings up the boys that tried talking to us in the mall. And I don't really like feed into it too much, but like, yeah, they were just trying to talk to both of us, blah, blah, blah. And this is where it got weird. I get a text from her that she meant to send to her boyfriend. And it said, oh, they were really trying to talk to me. They weren't trying to talk to her. I was like, I literally turn around and show her, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's weird. Like, I'm not even trying to hype it up to make it seem like they were trying to talk to either one of us. They tried to talk to both of us. And why does it matter? Like, we have boyfriends. Like, why does it matter who they're trying to talk to? Like, I thought that was so weird. So that really, like, killed the vibe after that. And, like, I hate to even be confrontational because we're supposed to be best friends. Like, I don't feel like friendships should ever have to be confrontational whatsoever. But that was some weird ass shit because what can you have just said out loud if you really want to say something? That was weird. So I let that go. And she would occasionally come and tell me, like, that some people were talking shit about me. I guess, like, some people or guys or girls from high school we went to. Mind you, like, I wasn't really friends with too many people, so you really had to go out of your way to talk shit about me. And she would tell me, oh, yeah, somebody's talking shit about you. They said X, Y, and Z. I'm like, okay, well, who said it? Oh, I can't tell you that. Why? Like, why can you not tell me? Like, are you not my best friend? Because in my head, if you can't tell me who said it, you must have been sitting in there chiming in on too. Because as my best friend, you would absolutely let me know because you couldn't have came to my defense. Because if you were in my defense, you would have told me who said it so we could go handle the problem ourselves. Or at least let me stick up for myself and say something to whoever said it. But no, you want to play both sides, and I don't like people who do that shit. So, like, after that, like, our friendship was slowly kind of, like, coming to an end. Like, the conversations became, like, less and less. It really didn't help that she lived 4 hours away or went to school 4 hours away. It really didn't help. And it kind of was to the point where I was like, you know what? Like, the friendship really isn't there. I feel like it's one-sided. At one point, I felt like I was one always reaching out. She wouldn't reach out too much. Like, the conversation was just dry. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of just going to leave it alone. And we were having a conversation because at the time, like, I had a nail business. I was doing bottle service, like, and I was working. So I had, like, 3 incomes at one time. And I was doing pretty good for myself. Like, I had moved out. Like, I was really on my own. It was me and my boyfriend at the time. Like, it was just us two. And I was making it work. Like, that's just how I had to do it. And it was cool. And she was like, well, you should have just stayed with your parents and stayed so that way you don't have to drop out of school. Mind you, she is the one person. If you saw my original Pink Tote video, she is the only person outside of the people who lived in my house who saw how badly my stepdad had beat me. Because it was one day when me and her were talking, and she was playing, and she, like, bumped into me, but she bumped into the arm where he peeled the skin off. So I was like, I kind of winced a little bit. She's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, no. She's like, no, like, why are you, like, wincing like that? So I showed her, like, my arm was bandaged up, like, under my jacket. Like, I showed her the scars, not the scars, but the bruises going all down my leg. She was like, you need to call the police. And so if you're the one person who saw how abusive my stepdad was, why on earth would you ever suggest staying there? I left so that way I couldn't be subjected to any more abuse. And you're going to tell me I should have stayed so I can stay in school? Girl, like, did you touch grass at any point in your life? Because I would never suggest you stay in an abusive relationship so you can stay in school. Like, what? I know, I should have ended right there. I should have ended the friendship, like, right then and right there. But I was like, you know what? Like, maybe she just doesn't understand, like, what I'm going through. But now that I'm older, you absolutely understand. Like, people know what they're saying. They know what they're doing. And this right here was the straw that essentially broke the camel's back. Me and my boyfriend, we were going through something. We had just broken up. Like, and I was just, like, confiding in her. Like, you know, I don't even remember what the conversation really went like. But I was just expressing, like, you know, typical relationship problems. And she snapped on me. I don't want to hear about this nigga no more. I was like, wait a minute. Whenever you come to me with the problem between you and your relationship, do I ever snap at you and tell you I don't want to hear it? No. I sit there and listen, and we could be sitting here for an hour, and all I'm saying is, while you sit here and vent to me. But when I'm venting to you, now it's a problem. I was like, you know what? I'm good. Because I don't let people talk to me any kind of way. I'm sorry. I grew up with really verbally abusive parents, so that's like a trigger for me. You don't get to yell at me. You don't get to snap at me. That's it. I cut it off, right? Cut it off like a dead limb. And I know I'm not the problem because she's reached out to me multiple times over the years trying to, like, apologize and, like, rekindle. And honestly, like, I've ignored all her attempts. Like, there's nothing left to talk about. We're all adults here. And I have never in my life snapped at any of my friends, no matter how much stress I was under, no matter how tired I was of hearing about their problems. You're my friend. Why would I not want to hear about your problem? This is a safe space for you to come and vent to. I didn't have any other, like, real sorts of, like, I didn't have a mom. I don't have a big sister. I don't have a cousin that I can go to. So low key, she was kind of like, Like, she was like my outlet. And I'm gonna be real with you, she got a sprinkle of what the fuck I was really going through. I was really taking everything on the chin and not even really telling anybody my problems. I'm over here talking to you about my relationship problems and you're snapping on me. Yeah, the friendship had to go right then and right there. Like, it was done after that. Like, she tried to reach out. I don't have nothing to say. Like, and we're all grown now. This happened like, what, 3 years ago? And I'm cool. Like, there's a list, baby. There's a list of egregions. I'm straight.
So heaps of people are talking about what they'd do if their boyfriend had a girl best friend, and I thought I'd share my experience because my ex did. Initially, I was fine with her. They stopped going on their dates that they would go on, except for going to the market together every Saturday morning. So a few weeks into our relationship, a message popped up from her on his phone while he was driving, and I grabbed his phone and I unlocked it because I knew his password, and I said, "Oh, this person texted you." And he snatched the phone out of my hand and started yelling at me, saying that that's an invasion of privacy and that I shouldn't look through his messages. I was just so taken aback because I was really out of character for him. And I was like, okay, but I wasn't going to go through your whole phone. I was just going to see what she was messaging you saying. And I even said to him, that is a massive red flag. Like, what the heck? And he's just like, I'm just not comfortable with it. Like, it's an invasion of privacy. And so I was like, okay, like, I guess I'm crazy then. Like, so obviously I started getting less comfortable with this girl. And fast forward a little while, I'm at a festival with him and all his friends, and she's there as well. And we are in the mosh pit. It's getting close to the end of the night, and I look over at them, and he's got his arms wrapped around her and kisses her forehead for like, he lingered. It was there for a minute. And I looked over at one of his other mates who was like, don't do anything. Like, just, it's all good. Don't panic. And I was just like, I started welling up, and she turns around and laughs in my face. And I was just like, what? I said to the girls in the mosh, some just like random people, I'm like, my boyfriend just kissed his girl best friend on the forehead in front of me. And they were all like, and apparently after I left, they were all giving him the stink eye all night. So if you girls are watching, thank you. Anyway, so I left, and I was expecting him to come after me and like apologize, but of course he didn't. That night I went through his phone because I was like, what the heck is in here? And I found messages of him talking shit about me to her and saying things like, I'm sorry that I had to invite Jaden to the markets, I wish he didn't come, all this stuff. And I was just like, what the hell? I took screenshots, sent them to myself, confronted him the next day, and he apologized and even said that he would stop talking to this girl. We even drove to her house the next day so he could go upstairs and like tell her, no, that's not okay, we're not going to be friends anymore, like at least close friends anymore. A few weeks after that, I see a message from her pop up, and I was like, what the heck? Open it, they've been talking again, and he sent her this long ass message saying Jane was in the wrong, I told her off. He told me off for being so dramatic and trying to make me make a choice and stuff. And I was just like, what the heck? Confronted him, and he said that him and his mum put this message together to send to her because like it wasn't okay what I did. And I was like, if you had told your mum the whole story, I guarantee you she wouldn't be saying that's okay. And of course I stick around for even longer. It was a dragged out relationship. It was doomed. I eventually was able to give myself what I was hoping to get from him and left. It literally made me feel like I was going crazy and like I was the one doing the wrong thing. And of course there was so many other things that happened throughout this relationship with this girl that I'm not even mentioning because that would just be too long of a video, but I just wanted to share the main points. And yeah, what would you do if you started dating someone and they had a girl best friend?
How my brother's best friend used to sneak in my room every night. So growing up, we were like all best friends, and I had a best friend, my brother had a best friend, and then his best friend became more like my best friend. Like we just were really close. He was a little bit older than me, but we were just like super close friends. Really traumatic happened to him when we were kids, and it caused him to have these like really bad nightmares. So he would come and like lay in my bed with me because we lived right across the street from each other. So he would just like come through my window, lay in bed with me. It was all very innocent for a really long time. I just kind of became his safe place, and he was always my safe place. So he would always just come in there and sleep. Obviously, as we got older and hormones started to come into play, things started to go a little different. As we got older, my parents and his parents were like, okay, you can't like go sleep in her room anymore. And my brother was like, don't go into my sister's room anymore. But obviously he still came into my room. All this, we were best friends. I mean, we did everything together. We went and saw movies together. He knew about like when I got my first period. Like we knew everything about each other. We were attached to the hip. And I had the biggest feelings for him. Like I can't even call it a crush because I liked this boy since I was a kid, and then as I got older my feelings just got stronger and stronger and stronger. I knew he loved me, but I wanted him to love me. Like I wanted him to be in love with me. And I had to sit back and watch him like hit on girls, flirt with girls, like make out with girls, and I had to just like hold it in. But he would always tell me things like, I'm his best girl, I'm his favorite person, blah blah blah. And it was just really, really confusing. No matter who he was with at the time or if he was seeing anyone or anything, he would always end up in my bed, and he would always just reassure me like he loved me. Like, he would always say he loved me, and like, but he would also like flirt with me, so it was very, very confusing. And he would flirt with me like right in front of our brother and all of our friends too, so it's not like it was a secret, but like nothing had ever happened between us, despite what people thought and despite how much I wanted stuff to happen between us. Part of the reason he didn't take it any further than he did is because he didn't want anything to happen to our friendship, because like I said, we were attached to the hip, probably had like some codependency issues between us, so I know that that had something to do with it. But like the back and forth teasing, taunting, flirting with me, like never wanting me to date any guys or be around any guys was just very confusing to me. Like watching him flirt with girls and get with girls, but he doesn't want me to get or be with anybody, and I'm kind of just like in this place of like, you're in my bed every night, you tell me you love me, but I don't know if you like love me, or if you just love me as a friend, and I don't know what to do. One night we're just sitting there talking, and something happens between the two of us. Finally kiss, and like, you know when you kiss somebody and your entire, you can feel it in your entire body, like it is the kiss, like you feel it in your heart, you feel it in your bones, you feel it in your skin, like you know that this is your person. That is how it felt to finally be kissing him, and then he just like immediately pulled away. Pulls away, he just is like, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have taken it that far, like I care about you, I never want to hurt you, blah blah blah. And I'm just confused, because I know it's not the fact that he's my brother's best friend, because he flirts with me in front of my brother, so I just don't think that's what it is. It just seems like he has this like hang up of us getting together. What is the reason? Like, why don't you want to take this to the next level? Like, you clearly are in love with me, and I'm clearly in love with you, and I have to like go back to school the next day and pretend these things don't happen. Like, he's this very funny and sarcastic and like class clown of our group, but like with me, he's just like a completely different person, and I always have to go to school the next day and pretend like all of these special moments didn't happen. You finally find out his reason for holding back. It is heartbreaking. If you like that and you want to find out what happens next and the name of the book, check the caption. And also, happy Claire and Gifty Day.
All right, this story is for two groups of people. The first group of people is people who just like to know gossip. That has nothing to do with you, because that's what this story is. It's just a story time. Second group of people I went to high school with. Yes, that's right. My friends at MCS. This doesn't have to do with high school. It has to do with someone we went to high school with. And I'm not going to use names, but our high school was small as shit. You'll probably figure it out. And for context, for people, why I know this, we graduated, like our average graduating class in our high school was like 60 people. So it was really easy to know like everyone you went to high school with, like your graduating class, the one above you, the one above that one, the one below you, the one below that one. Like you knew 9 through 12. And you knew all their siblings too. So you knew most of like K through 6. Anyway, so this guy was a guy who's a year younger than me. He was nice in high school. Like, I wouldn't say we were friends. We were friendly. I'm pretty sure was like dating a girl from another school when we graduated, or when he graduated. And they eventually got married and had a baby. He was in the military, so they ended up moving across the country at some point, I'm pretty sure. And I know this because I'm friends with him on Facebook. And I'm not friends with his wife, but she would like tag him in things, right? So I see like their pregnancy announcement and the fact that they're moving and like random family photos, whatever. Very much not on my radar. Very good for them, but boring. Not interested. Not anything I'm interested in. Cut to 3 months ago. I get a picture of a random woman I've never seen in my life on my Facebook feed. And I say, who is that? And why is this man that I'm referring to, why is he tagged in this photo? Because that is not his wife. So I had 2 questions. Who is this woman? And why is she here? What is happening? Second question, where did his wife go? When did they break up? Okay, so the first way I answered the first one, I go and I start to scroll through her profile. She lives out here in San Diego. It turns out at some point toward like the end of September, he came out to like visit her and she posted photos and like tagged him in them. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. What was the last thing his wife tagged him in? It was a post of her and her daughter, their daughter, and she was talking about how much they missed him. And it was in July. So that's fucked. So I see this and immediately I'm like, fuck this guy. I don't know what's going on, but like, fuck this guy. No loyalty. Anyway, so then he and new girl, their relationship statuses change. They start to post all the time. They're that couple that like fucking posts all the time. The best thing he posted that I screenshotted because I was like, oh my God. At this point, I'm like talking to one of my high school friends about it. Topless, he's shirtless, right? He has no shirt on, her name tattooed on his chest. New girl, right across here. I was like, holy fuck, that was such a terrible idea. As far as I know, they've only been talking to each other for 4 months. Well, anyway, they broke up this weekend. Oh my God. It's so funny.
I recently just experienced the ultimate friendship betrayal in my own home of somebody that I knew for 8 years, and she literally robbed me. She robbed me, and what do we call it online? She got the opposite to low in my house. To give you the long story short, she was staying with me from interstate for roughly a week. Now, to thank me, she says, oh, I have some free nights at Crown because I am a black member or something like that, and I'd really love to book you and your son a night. And I'm like, that's okay, honestly, all good, because I'm going to provide some context, but this is how close I live to the city. Like, I live 3 tram stops from Crown. So whilst the idea was nice, I'm like, honestly, girl, all good, you save it for you. Now, if you follow me on my other social accounts, you would have seen on my story that I did, in fact, end up going. She was quite persistent. She was like, oh, you should go. Like, you'll have a nice night. And, you know, Hezekiah can use the pool. And I'm thinking like, oh, you know, yeah, all right, sure. I was actually kind of under the assumption that she would be coming and that would be kind of having like a cute little, I don't know, hotel night. And she wasn't. But by that point of the day, I was actually quite irritated with her. So I actually wasn't mad about it. I thought that she'd be going to see her mans or something. Definitely didn't expect her to be hanging around my house alone. We'll get to that shortly. A few key points that gave me some red flags during that day was she was very irritable. She was very irritable, overstimulated. Now, as somebody who gets overstimulated, I get it. But I would never get actually frustrated and huff and puff at somebody else's child the way that she did. I'm pulling along a suitcase and it accidentally touches her ankle. She snatches it off me and she goes, oh, I'm going to take that from here because I can't trust you with that. And I'm thinking, oh my God. By this point, this is the first time I've ever been around a friend and thought, I actually don't want to be friends with this person anymore. As I put up some little stories that I make it look like it's a grand time, but the reality was I was actually in bed, you know, at 8:30 with Hezekiah asleep, and I'm on FaceTime to my friend, just like I would have done on any other night at home. That makes me sound very ungrateful, but you'll understand in a moment. And I'm saying on FaceTime to my friend, I'm a bit suspicious. I just have this kind of like weird feeling, but also like she's my friend, so, you know, I shouldn't be feeling that way. No, your gut intuition is always right. My gut intuition in the morning said, take Hezekiah to daycare immediately. So we do that, leave home at like 8. And then in the car, I felt this heavy sense of just procrastination. I was almost scared to walk into my own house. I don't know why. I hadn't heard from her or anything. She did try and make me steal some robes from Crown, which I was absolutely not going to do. To which she kind of gaslit me and she was like, well, it's not booked under your name anyway. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Anyways, I eventually walk into my house and that is when I see the hellhole that she had created. To provide some context for this bit here, earlier in the week, she had told me this story that was pretty wild and she was mentioning this stuff and I had never heard of this stuff. Started with a G. And she said that you have it in a Dettol bottle. And I walk in and I see a Dettol bottle on the bench and I'm thinking, surely not. I had a spare room that she was sleeping in, and tell me why, when I walk in, this body arises, looking like she's arised from the dead. She was asleep, using her handbag as a pillow on my couch. I hate to be that person, but let me know if you want part 2, because I'm still yet to talk about the missing phone, the missing AirPods, the missing ADHD medication, the pipe that I found in the room, what she had on the pillows in the room, and the foot skin that she had shaved off her feet, wrapped in towels that I couldn't find for 2 weeks. So let me know if you want part 2. And she wakes up so confused. She's like, what? I'm livid at this point. I've never been mad at a friend before. I've never had a friendship breakup. I've never experienced anything like this. Every single light in my house was on. She had moved my furniture. She had taken absolutely everything out of this cupboard here. She'd taken absolutely everything out. Everything was on the floor. She'd unplugged my ice machine. The ice machine was on the bench. She had gone through like my fridge and freezer. She'd eaten half a tub of ice cream and then left it on the bench to melt. And the house stunk so bad, like cigarette. I'm pretty sure she smoked in here, which is just an absolute big no-no for me. Obviously, I have my 5-year-old here and I don't do that. But she's even moved like photo frames and stuff. She'd moved photo frames like from here to like in front of the TV. And I'm just feeling very strange. I walk into my room to see my wardrobe open, my bathroom's cupboards open, all of the lights in there on, which I know I didn't do. A new perfume set that I bought the day before, open, things missing. I have got skincare and makeup from my bathroom cupboard that was spread out on my bed, not me, literally concealer that was brand new, open, on my bed, open. By this point, I am livid. Never dealt with anything like this in my life, and I'm not even good with confrontation at the best of times. And she walks in, she's like, is everything okay? And I'm thinking, absolutely not. But what do I say? I say, yeah. I actually don't. I'm speechless still now. It's been weeks and I'm speechless. So I woke up the courage to ask her about the perfume, which was very hard for me to do. And I walk away and I give her the space to, you know, put it back, to which she does. And then she puts the lid on it. Now, because at this point I'm skeptical and I'm like, I never want to see this girl again. I look, and she grabbed one of my little serums and she put it in the spot. I'll put a photo. And then she's like, there you go, there it is. And then I again woke up the courage to be like, hey, that's actually not it. it's still missing. So she tried to gaslight me and say that I took it, and I'm like, no, I definitely didn't. I literally just got these yesterday. So can you please find it? Like, I'm saying it in a way because I didn't want to start anything. I was actually scared of her because I know that she'd taken stuff. I was honestly scared of her. So I was like, oh, can you help me find it? Like, I need it. I was meant to be packing to go to Sydney the next day. Now, she ends up finding it. She's like, oh, it was in the bin. And anyways, I'm starting to pack. And then I realized that my spare phone, I recently upgraded a phone, so I currently have 2 phones. I realized that it is missing. My phone is missing. My AirPods are missing. I realized that there is a smashed photo frame in my bedroom. And you know the way she tried to tell me about the photo frame? She was like, oh, did you have a photo frame in here? I saw you had a photo frame. I think I heard it smash in the wind the other night. Mind you, that there is absolutely no chance that wind can make anything fall in my room. Like, the door is literally there and the TV is like parallel, like on the wall behind this. The wind is not pushing a photo frame. Anyway, so she was, I don't know what she was doing there, but she made a photo frames fall and smash. I hate to be that person, but let me know if you want part 2 because I'm still yet to talk about the missing phone, the missing AirPods, the missing ADHD medication, the pipe that I found in the room, what she had on the pillows in the room, and the foot skin that she had shaved off her feet, wrapped in towels that I couldn't find for 2 weeks. So after the perfume is found, she goes back into the room. Now I'm thinking surely this girl has, got the hint and maybe she's like packing her bags. She said that she was meant to be catching a flight literally like the next day. So I thought, maybe she's packing her bags. No, she just went back to sleep like nothing had happened. It was actually when she went back to sleep when I realized my phone and AirPods were missing. So much happened, it's really hard to think of like the exact timelines, but I know it was when she was asleep I realized her phone was missing. I'm panicking, looking everywhere, thinking, was it me? Have I misplaced it? I looked in every single spot that I would have put it, and that's when I knew it was taken. So thankfully, messaged my friend, he came over, so, because I was like, I've got to somehow confront her, but I'm terrified. Terrified because obviously I'd seen the Dettol bottle, and go back and watch part 1 and you'll understand, but I knew that she'd taken that, but I didn't know like what exactly it was and how people react to it, how long it lasts, like I had no idea. Now, what I then found is so much worse. Honestly, just buckle up. Once my friend got here, we're trying to work out a plan. The plan was either A, you call police, or B, act nice, get her out of the house, and then deal with the friendship cutting off later. I went with plan B because that felt safer to me, which I'm going to make another video about that because somebody's saying that this is my fault for letting it happen, but you'll understand if you understand my story. So I finally work up the courage to peek in the room a little bit because I'm just trying to look for my phone at this point. I tried to find my iPhone and it was working for all of my items except, of course, the 2 missing things. So I said to my friend, I was like, right, I'm just going to peek in the room and I'm going to see if I can see my phone laying on the bed. Now, when I peek in, I'm terrified to open the door. I just push the door open a little bit and it's only opened that much. And when I tell you the only thing that I could see, I don't even know if I could put a photo up on here because I think it would get taken down, but it was of a pipe, a literal pipe, and there was a bottle of epoxy resin. Now, I don't know if she somehow got that through the airport or she bought it in Melbourne. I have no idea. Now, I was chatting to some friends and I'm like, surely one does not mess with epoxy resin in the system, and only to find out it is actually ice. Nice. In my house. Also, super important that I clarify here that my son did not see any of this. He wasn't here for any of this. I had a really strong gut intuition to take him straight to daycare. So he doesn't know what actually happened, and a proper clean was done so that there was no residue of anything. There was no smell lingering around, and all of that was gone. And I told him that she's no longer our friend, but he obviously doesn't know the full truth of it. But it was also very important for me to teach him the lesson of if somebody speaks badly to us, which is what I told him, that they, we are worth so much more and people like that do not deserve to stay in our life. So that's all he knows. Obviously, once I saw that pipe, I knew I needed to get her out immediately. I am not someone who likes lying, and I actually find lying quite difficult. So I had to create a white lie. Now, she knew that I had a friend moving in just 3 days after, which was helpful because I was able to create a white lie saying, hey, something's actually happened and he's coming today. The truth was also that my stepdad was actually coming that night. So I was like, my stepdad's coming, the couch is taken, and he needs his room. Like, he needs his room today. She had the audacity to say, oh, can't he go and get a hotel? Which I thought was absolutely gobsmackingly disgusting, knowing that she is using his future room. Disgusting. She then goes on to tell me how she doesn't have money. She goes on to say that I just spent $700 on a flight, which flying here interstate to where she was going does not cost $700. To which it's been about 2 weeks since this, and I also have learnt that she actually didn't even fly home. So the whole flight thing, that was actually a lie. And anyways, for some reason, she can't get an Uber and she can't get anyone to pick her up. And then she ends up having somebody come pick her up. But, on the way, his engine blew up. The person that was picking her up, actually, she told me that he had an ankle monitor on, and she told me that he actually couldn't even enter the CBD. So Immediately, I am suspicious about absolutely everything she has told me, and everything. 8 years of friendship, and who is this person? She has a friend eventually come and pick her up around 6 o'clock, which, mind you, all of this started around 10 a.m. So 6 p.m. And thankfully, my beautiful friend walked her down, and I was like, I actually can't. And I was like, bye. She actually left a bag of clothes here, and I just was like, it's actually in my wardrobe, and I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but that's a future problem. And she goes. Now, there are a couple of things that I didn't notice until once I got back from Sydney. Obviously, I'd had to clean up the entire place. She'd moved all my furniture around and stuff. She'd even played with my tarot cards, and she left some tarot cards around the house, which obviously those are mine. And I honestly actually freaked me out that she did that. I don't know. I literally like cleansed my whole house, and I was like, get rid of all the bad energy in here, because that freaked me out. So anyway, fast forward, coming back from Sydney, on the trip I'd bought Panadol. I go to put my Panadol away, and I notice, oh, my ADHD medication is in a different spot. That's strange. I opened it up to see that she had taken absolutely every single thing in there except for one. Now, what infuriates me the most about this is during the week that she had stayed, we'd actually discussed ADHD and ADHD medication and how it had helped me. And it's just, the gaslighting in this is just unreal. And I'd actually said to her, like, she was like, oh, which ones have you tried, blah, 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 which now obviously I see that it was to get information out of me as to what I had in my house. I had told her, I was like, I actually can't afford to consistently take medication because it's going to cost me $650 for an appointment for me to be able to get another script. And then the bottle is $100. So $750 for me to be able to get another bottle. She knew that. And yet she still took absolutely every single one that I had. Oh, sorry, she left me one. How kind. Now, fast forward about 2 weeks, I'm wondering, where are all my bath towels? I can't seem to find my bath towels anywhere. I look in we have 2 bathrooms here. I look in the second bathroom, and there is a basket underneath the sink, like pushed underneath the sink. I pull it out, and there is a towel. And I go to pick up the towel to put in the washing machine, and it is full of skin. The skin is actually a whole other story in itself. And this is already 8 minutes long, and this is my third attempt of telling this whole story, and the first time I told it was 26 minutes long. So let me know if you want part 3 where I talk about more about the skin situation.